So Georgia went down to LSU. They were looking for a game to win. They were in a bind. They were way behind. They were number 2 in the nation. Well, they came across these Go Tigers. They were playing purple and playing it hot. Then my boy Joe Burrow came up and, boy, let me throw you one. Now, I bet you didn't know that the Tigers, number 13. But after last week in Florida, we were number 5. Now, we beat Georgia again, and Georgia going to be losing. Now we're back to number 5, and it's like we never even lost to Florida. Go Tigers, baby.
Jew Tigers.
Fuck Georgia. What's up, ladies and gents? This is
Ellis. And suck that tiger dick, bitch.
Suck that tiger dick, bitch.
And salutations to all humans and celestial beings listening to today's show. This is episode 27, 27, I think, not sure, of the greatest sports talk show you've never heard of, Trash Talk Sports. Coming to you live from the greatest taco city in the world and 3rd in the galaxy, Austin, Texas. I am Richie Golanowski, and my co-host partner in crime, a stormer of SEC football fields and an oyster masturbator, Mr. Ellis Chapman. What's cracking?
Yo, go Tigers, baby. Yo, Mississippi this weekend? That's okay. Bring on Bama. Bring them on.
We want Bama. And just a reminder, all you friendly folks, we are on Instagram, Google, and iTunes podcasts, SoundCloud, and our YouTube channel. Check us out. Find us, follow us, talk shit to us. Just don't make fun of our cats. It's a sensitive subject. But Ellis, let's talk about what you witnessed this weekend. Insanity. Absolute madness in Death Valley.
Richie, let me tell you, man, it was a 2:30 game, and I was telling my friends all week, they got to make this a night game. And they didn't. So I started drinking at around 9 o'clock, 9:30, honestly. And I get to tailgate around 10. It's a great time. We're all smoking sausage, eating red beans and jambalaya. And game time at 2:30. And, dude, you have never felt an energy like you did this weekend. I was telling my girl, Holly, it's incredible watching an entire city shut down. The entire city of Baton Rouge just freezes when the Tigers play. And it's kind of amazing, man. I go to the stadium and, dude, I'm with the students. I'm with the fucking rowdy people. And it's going nuts, man. We are so much energy. The crowd is hype. I think the crowd made a huge difference in that game. I think if the game was at Georgia, it could have been different. But, fans are great. Joe Burrow was playing great.
Joe's a freaking beast.
Dude, Georgia's got a hell of a run game. It was good to see LSU step up against that. And it was just a really good win, man. Close game till the 4th quarter. Death Valley, Tiger Stadium was going nuts, dude. I can't even.
This is almost a warm-up, Ellis, for November 3rd.
I work at Buffalo Wild Wings, and they made $25,000 on Saturday. And my manager's like, yeah, we expect 35 when Bama comes.
And guess what, Ellis? We will be in Tiger Stadium. Let's go. We will be a beast with our seatbelts strapped, and we will be ready to go. This ain't a normal Tic Tac, Grandma. But, let's get down to business first.
So let me talk about this. Down goes 2. Down goes number 6, West Virginia. Down goes number 7, Washington. You have 3 top teams all drop out of the top 10 this week. Florida bumped up again. Dude, the SEC is just too good. Here's the question, though. Bama hasn't played anybody. LSU lost to
nobody.
LSU lost to Florida. Florida's been playing really well. Kentucky's playing really well. Georgia's playing pretty good. And let's look at the West. Texas A&M sucks. You got Bama and LSU. Mississippi State sucks. Ole Miss sucks. Auburn sucks. Is the East better than the West this year, man?
I think because the way Kentucky's playing, Florida, Georgia, they're always going to kind of be flirting with it, up in the top 25. Georgia, obviously, top 5. But Florida's one of those teams that can go either way right now. They're 11th. That win against LSU is a huge win.
Big resume builder for them.
Yeah, and Georgia's looking good as always, but Kentucky 5-1, and they should have beat the Aggies. That was a game they had. They lost in the closing minutes. But I mean, when you have Bama, LSU, I mean, all right. Granted, Aggies aren't playing well, but they only have 2 losses to Alabama and Clemson.
Auburn's got 3 losses.
Yeah, Auburn's got 3. Mississippi State. I kind of like the East right now. If they can get one more team by the end, if South Carolina can, pull it together, even Tennessee having a big win against Florida, if someone can get their crap together and get if they can get 4 teams in the top 25 by the end of the season. Yeah, I mean, Mississippi State could drop out in a week. They're going to lose to LSU, and they're going to be out of the top 25. I mean,
let's not say that. Yeah, we're worried about another Florida incident.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the SEC East right now, it's SEC, dude, is just dear Lord, like 7 teams in the top 25. 33%.
And so Alabama this weekend is going to Tennessee. Tennessee's been playing okay this year, but yeah, man, it's Alabama. Their ESPN has the matchup predictor at 94.3% of an Alabama win.
Yeah, that's kind of every game. Next, the LSU game, they might even drop it down to 92, but Alabama's, Lord have mercy.
NFL junior.
But let's go to another conference, Ellis. Kind of a rival and a deep love for your team, Ohio State.
The Big Ten.
Ohio State, the news just dropped today. Nick Bosa will not be returning the rest of the season, not because of his injury, but because he's withdrawing from school. And he's preparing himself for the NFL draft. He's not even going to finish the season.
Is that Joey Bosa's brother?
Yep, damn straight. He got an injury, and he's got to rehab it, but he's like, you know what? I'm done. I just want to focus on getting ready for the draft. He doesn't even want to finish the season. They are undefeated. They could potentially be in the college football playoff and in the national championship game. And he's like, I'm out. You know what? I got my own agenda.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, no, there is no other hand. Yeah, that's stupid. You're not that good. You got to make yourself known in college to be good in the NFL.
I think we kind of saw it a few years ago with players dropping out of bowl games. This is going to be a trend. If good players get hurt, they're not going to want to come back, regardless if their team's undefeated. The dude hasn't even played Michigan. That's like the big game, Ohio State, Michigan. Michigan's, which was going to be my next topic, number 6 in the country, is going up against Michigan State this weekend. Just beat Wisconsin, manhandled them. Penn State lost. So it's going to be a battle between Michigan and Ohio State at the end of the season, baby.
Going down to Michigan, yep. But as I always think, Michigan sucks. Harbaugh's overrated. This will be easy for the Buckeyes. Penn State was the real team that could beat them.
Yeah, and they should have. Oh my God, what a game!
Incredible game. That was amazing.
Been my favorite game this year so far. But you also look, that's the Big Ten's going to have a great finish, but I think it's going to come down to the last week between Michigan and Ohio State, as it usually does. And I'll go into my favorite conference in the country, the ACC, baby. They have a big matchup. Clemson, undefeated Clemson, versus, hear this, Ellis, undefeated NC State.
Ooh.
Yeah, buddy.
Although Clemson just has to not lose, man.
Clemson wins out, they're in the college football playoff. But if any game
weak this year.
That's what I'm saying. They aren't as good. Or maybe they think they're really good, but they're just slacking. I don't know. There's something weird with them.
Yo, speaking of the ACC, mark my words. UVA will beat Tech this year.
All right, let's get this on camera. Let's get this on footage. If
UVA is going to beat
if UVA beats Virginia Tech, Ellis?
Yo, they had a
Say that again?
They had a big win over Miami this weekend, 16-13. Miami's not a bad squad. Shout out LSU beat them, but Miami was in the top 10, man. Like they were 5-1 or 4-1. Here comes Virginia, man. Like I'm not saying Virginia's a good team necessarily, but like they're 4-2 and they're second in the Coastal Division behind
Hokies.
the Virginia Tech Hokies.
And dude, Tech, I gotta say this. I love Tech to death. Been my favorite football team since
They're weak this year, man. They're a weak sauce.
Tech sucks. They should have lost to North Carolina. North Carolina's kicker missed 2 field goals, and North Carolina was driving. They were on the 1 yard line. The running back fumbled, and that was to win the game. If they scored a touchdown, Tech was done.
Dude, North Carolina's garbage too.
Tech drove the whole length of the field, scored with like 10 seconds left, got the dub at North Carolina. That's pathetic. North Carolina sucks. Garbage team.
Garbage this year.
And Tech's got backup quarterback in. Their starting quarterback, Josh Jackson, has a broken leg or vagina. I don't know. But anyway.
Dude, UVA could win the ACC.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
That's incredible.
I hate UVA.
I love UVA, man. Fuck Virginia Tech. These guys are
I consider UVA a high school. Very smart high school, nevertheless, but a high school. Now, granted, the argument with UVA and Virginia Tech is UVA is better at every other sport than Tech. I don't care. I'm talking about football. I don't argue this in lacrosse or soccer. Basketball. Virginia Tech usually gets UVA once a year. They usually pull out that upset once a year.
UVA was in the first round to a 16 seed once.
Yeah, but that's my next argument. Hey, dude,
come back to that.
You literally lost to a high school that thinks they're a college.
Okay, you don't. So, all right, let's talk about a non-conference team right now, and I think this might be the number 1 team in the nation. Watch out for your Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I hate the Catholics, man. They've been playing good teams. They had a good win over Michigan. They played Duke. They played Virginia Tech. They beat the shit out of Virginia Tech this year.
They turned Virginia Tech around and did dirty, dirty things that are legal in 38 states.
Dude, Brian Kelly and Notre Dame have a squad, and I think this is a team that in South Bend they could be a big contender going into the Final Four, potentially a 1, maybe a 2 seed, depending on how the rest of the season plays out. They're fighting with Ohio State right now for their slot, I think.
I agree. I think it comes down. Now, Georgia's kind of in. I did say Alabama. Who did I say was going to be in the Final Four? I said Alabama, Ohio State, then the winner of the LSU-Georgia game. So I think LSU.
Clemson.
And then Clemson. But I think Notre Dame has a better chance of Clemson. Granted, I think Clemson's schedule is easier, but Notre Dame is better.
I think, dude, if it comes down to that, you have only one SEC team going to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Winner of Alabama, LSU is going to get the loser's going to get snuffed.
I think so, yeah. Because if LSU has 2 losses, excuse me, if they lose to Alabama or anyone else for that matter, they won't make it.
Winner of the championship will go. That is the only guarantee.
That is a fact. And that could be Florida.
Could be Florida, exactly. Who we've already lost to on the road.
Florida. Could you imagine a Florida, Notre Dame, UVA? No, UVA is not going. NC State. I'll say NC State instead of Clemson. NC State and Ohio State Final Four.
Dude, I could see. Dude, UVA could be in the Final Four.
No way.
With an outright ACC championship win.
If UVA wins out, do you think they could potentially? Well, they would have to. Wow.
Clemson's number 3. They'd be a 1-loss team. Why couldn't they? Wow.
If UVA wins out, they could put. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Put that in perspective. Yeah.
I don't even believe it, and it came out of my mouth.
That was a huge win over Miami, dude.
It was. I don't think this program's ever been in a position like this since I've been alive.
They're looking at a bowl bid halfway through the season for the first time in years.
Yeah, they're fighting for bowl bids in their last 2 weeks, because last week of the season they know they're losing to Tech. I mean, come on, go Hokies, baby. But I mean, there's a lot of potential going on in college football this season. A lot to play out. I love it.
I gotta ask you a question, Richie. What time is it?
It is approximately 7:50 Central Standard Time, and Ellis, OU still sucks.
Sooners still suck. Yo, talk to me about Texas, bro. You're in Austin. You're seeing the energy. What's going on, man?
The people here are loving it. Absolutely loving it. I'm not buying it. I think
just like that.
Yeah, but their schedule so far, so they beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma sucks. They're not really that good as they have been. They're kind of like Clemson almost, where they're just kind of borderline. They have the tradition almost in the past few years.
Didn't they beat USC?
Yeah, but USC sucks. Their quarterback should be in high school. Their quarterback should be studying for the SATs right now.
How do you know he's not?
He should be getting ready for prom, dude.
But looking at their schedule, they play Oklahoma State. Not this week they're on a bye. Next week they go. Then they play the number 6 defeated West Virginia, number 13 now, in Austin. And Texas Tech,
which is going to be a huge game.
Iowa State, and then Kansas. So they've got one hard game. But they do have 2 wins, man. They've got 2 ranked wins this year against USC and Oklahoma.
I think I've said it before.
They screwed up losing to Maryland.
Yeah, that killed them. I've said this before. I know they're going to lose to West Virginia. I think West Virginia comes out pissed off. But I think they're going to lose to West Virginia and Iowa State. I think they lose those 2 games. They don't go to the Big 12 championship, which is what everyone's hoping for. And they end up, bottom top 25, maybe not even in the top 25. I think they'll end up in the top 25.
Yo, did you see that, Ellis? You got fined $100,000?
Dude, that's bubblegum change to them, Ellis. That's
money. I was so glad when I saw that. I was like, I'm responsible. I contributed.
And you know what? I'm sure all their higher ups were just like, all right, you want a check, money order, or cash? Because guess what? We got ready for another one in 2 weeks, baby.
It's gonna be bigger.
So you better get another checkbook out because we're gonna pay it. You Tiger. Eddie Orgeron's pulling that money out of his pocket and just be like, the hell with it.
Bro, apparently that comes out of the graduate school, the graduate fund, the undergraduate, something. But like it comes out of graduate degrees, like secondary education. All right, I think we've hit enough on NCAA for now. Let's move to the league.
The professionals, as they say.
The Redskins the NFC East is god awful. I don't know what happened to the Cowboys last night, but they had their Wheaties and beat shit out of Jacksonville. The Giants might be the worst team in the NFL. Eagles, Carson Wentz he's done. He's shell-shocked. He sucks. The Redskins, I don't understand because we lose to the 1-5 Colts big, and then we beat the crap out of Cam Newton and the 3-1 Panthers. So I don't understand this division, man.
NFC least. I think both of our teams are part of the worst division in football. The NFC East, obviously, like you just said, and then the AFC South with a 3-way tie for first place at 3-3 with 3 awful teams that none of them should be in the playoffs. The Titans, the Jags, and the Texans is terrifying. Now, granted, the Titans have the lead because they have the best in-division record at 2-0. But both of these divisions suck. I think this brings up a good point. it's that time of year. This is what is it, week 7, week 8 or something, when good coaches start to dominate, aka the dude with the cutoff sleeves in New England. I don't want to mention his name. It's like Lord Voldemort, really. And other coaches hope for a miracle, kind of like the Redskins, the Titans, teams of that nature. And some just slither by on the edge of their teeth, their pointed ass noses, to get a job for next year, probably in Canada or maybe for Notre Dame if they're hiring. But I think some of these coaches that are on the hot seat, I think you got Mike Tomlin out in Pittsburgh, kind of having a rough season as it is. Mike Vrabel's a new coach. Belichick's doing his thing. I think the Houston Texans coach, what the hell is his name? The double chin man, coached at Penn State. You know what I'm talking about? What's his name? O'Brien? Something O'Brien. Bill O'Brien. I think Bill O'Brien is also on the hot seat. God, that guy is so freaking ugly. And then the Dallas Cowboys is a big one with Jason Garrett. Is he capable of doing anything more than having a 500 season? I mean, they just beat the crap out of Jacksonville, but are they really capable? And then, of course, the Bears doing well with a brand new coach and Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy. I'll call him Nagy. Sounds about right. And also the Green Bay Packers. Did you watch that game at all last night, Ellis? With Mike McCarthy, I mean, Aaron Rodgers had a great comeback. But I think Mike McCarthy's on the hot seat. And, it's kind of tough. These good coaches start to separate themselves. And the other coaches just kind of, like I said, they hope for the best. I think Jason Garrett has got a lot to, I don't want to say work with, but he's got a lot to work on. The Dallas Cowboys started off this season absolutely atrocious. I mean, people were calling for this man's head. I think they've been doing it since he's been in Dallas. But now so more than ever, because it's like, all right, you've had more than enough time. What the hell is really going on out there? And, I mean, they're still in a place where they can win the NFC East.
Well done.
And I think, the New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, they're always, they're going to be up there. But the Atlanta Falcons is another team that should be better than 2-4.
Yeah, watch out for the Falcons. I think they could go to the Super Bowl.
And that's the thing. Like, this time, they could just turn it on. They got 10 games left. Potentially, they could win 10 games and go 10-4 and then be like, all right, whatever. We're in the playoffs.
Yo, the team I'm thinking about with playoffs, not in the South, watch out for the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, yeah. They're
undefeated. Todd Gurley is the GOAT. Goff. He'll scoff at all defenses. Like, that's a team, man.
And that's a shitty ass. I mean, the Seahawks too. I mean, with Pete Carroll, that's another guy that's kind of on the hot seat. He needs to get it together. He's got a great quarterback, but I think Sean McVay. The Rams are legit.
Yeah, they're real good.
And Ellis, Sunday night we kind of saw. I've heard some people call this the changing of the guard with Pat Mahomes and Tom Brady. I'm not buying that bullshit. To become the changing of the guard, you have to beat Brady in the playoffs. Period.
Multiple times.
Yeah. Like, because guess what? If Brady loses in the playoffs this year to Mahomes or some young quarterback, God forbid Mariota does it. Actually, that'd be amazing, but I don't think it'll happen. Brady will come back the next season and try to kill you. He will like personally call Bill. What the hell is the NFL committee? Roger Goodell. He will personally call him and be like, Roger, I want to play this team Week 17, make it happen. Because he's coming out for blood. I think for to be the changing of the guard, Brady is the GOAT, hands down, the greatest of all time, in my opinion, in the NFL. To be him, you got to beat him. No questions about it. But Ellis, I want to
in the playoffs.
In the playoffs, not in the regular season, in the playoffs, in his environment. In New England would be even better because you know they're going to get a top seed. But Ellis, I want to get your thoughts on a team that probably won't make the playoffs this year. A brand new coach, and we've kind of talked about it before, but John Gruden. This guy has come in here. He's talked about changing the mentality of the Oakland Raiders back to the old 90s, you know, ground and pound and sack them and whatever the hell. But he gets rid of Khalil Mack, their best defensive player, arguably the best defensive player in the league.
They're 1-5 right now.
Terrible team. I don't even know if they'll win 4 games.
Derek Carr is a joke, man.
But he has the talent. I mean, you got Amari Cooper around you. You got Marshawn Lynch. Like, what is going on in Oakland? What the hell? What do you think is happening in these locker rooms or in these meetings?
It's simple, man. You have the dumbest man in the NFL coaching an NFL franchise. This is not the same league as the 90s, man. He is. You know, it's hard for me to say that. John Gruden's a quarterback. He's a quarterback coach, and he's a really good quarterback coach. I just don't think he's still cut out for the league. I think him sitting on the ESPN bench, it's easier to call people out than, I don't know, man.
Then to fix it?
I think it's from top down. I think this guy's stupid, bad play calling, and I mean, he's played the Rams, but like it's not like he's really like they haven't played anybody really good right yet.
No, not at all. I think Gruden's garbage. I think they're gonna have a terrible year.
I don't want to buy this thing, but they play the Colts next week.
If the Colts beat the Raiders, oh, dude, fire him. Fire the $100 million man.
10-year, $100 million. Fuck.
But Ellis, I want to talk about, in my opinion, the most interesting division in the NFL right now, from top to bottom, the AFC North. The Cincinnati Bengals, coached by Marvin Lewis, they've been in this position before, top of the division, getting ready, kind of hoping that they position themselves well by the end of the season for a playoff spot. The Baltimore Ravens, by a Harbaugh brother, don't know which one, they all look the same, might even coach for the same team at times.
Dude.
Are tied
AFC North this weekend, man.
I will talk about that later. Trust me. And the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mike Tomlin and the Le'Veon Bell-less Steelers, but then the Cleveland Brownies with 2-3-1. I mean, they have potential.
I don't see it.
To get a wild card. Do you think the Browns will not finish last in the AFC North?
I think they're still the same old Browns, man. What I saw, you know what I saw this weekend out of the AFC North? Pittsburgh's back. Overtime win over Cincinnati. Big win. Don't count out the Steelers, man.
That was a great drive they had at the end.
That overtime. Dude, I was at work. I was with this one Steelers guy, and he was going nuts. I was like, yeah, bro, that's awesome. Fuck yeah. That's hype.
Antonio Brown's a beast. Hands down. Freaking beast.
I'm still sticking with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have one tie, and that tie is going to get them to first place in the North.
Ooh, buddy. Because it's not a loss.
It's half a win, bro. And half a win more is still more. What else do you? All right, the NFC North, man. This division is disgusting. Chicago's number 1 at 3-2. Green Bay and Minnesota are tied in second place at 3-2-1, and Detroit is 2-3. Like, I think this division is a lot like the NFC East, except these teams are better. I'm surprised Chicago's first right now, man. They had a bye, which kind of pushed them into first just because they haven't had another potential loss. But I picked Minnesota earlier this season. They can't. Not from what I've seen. They're paying Kirk too much and they can't protect their line. Which this is exactly what I told you about the Redskins with Alex Smith in the offseason. We can't afford a line around that pay salary. And I've seen he's getting hit left and right in Minnesota, man. I feel bad for the guy. I want Kirk Cousins to win a Super Bowl, but he is getting rocked 6 to 8 sacks a game out of the pocket like 10 to 15 times. You get that kind of pressure on a quarterback, he's going to stop thinking about the passes and worry about the rush. And B, you're just shutting down his entire game. And Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. And I'm sorry, Trubisky, you're overrated.
I think that this is the time of the year. I talked about this earlier, where the teams, you can kind of see them where they're placed. Atlanta's not in first, but I think they'll get there. The Rams are going to stay where they are. I think the Packers, they're not in first, but they're going to get there. The Eagles aren't in first, but I guarantee you, end the season, they'll get there. The Pittsburgh Steelers, same thing. I think those are the teams where they make those mid-season adjustments. They're like, all right, this is what we got to work with. This is how we're going to figure it out. And you start seeing the coaches and the quarterbacks that aren't ready to handle the whole season. It's not how you start. It's not how you make it through in the middle. It's how you finish. And Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, and Big Ben know what's going on. I mean, I could throw in Phillip Rivers in there. They could sneak in a wild card in the AFC. But I think this is the time of year when good quarterbacks and good coaches sit down, get their heads together, and say, hey, this is what we need to work on. It's been fun. We got our jokes aside. We know what plays we can and can't do. But I'm really disappointed in the Vikings. I think the Vikings and the Lions are having a rough year. They might be the teams of the future. But the Bears, I think the Bears will crumble. I don't think Trubinsky can make it the whole season. Their defense is good, but Trubinsky he's not enough. I don't think the Redskins have enough depth to go the whole season. I think it'll come down to the Eagles. I hope to God that Cowboys are not relevant. But don't be surprised if the Seahawks are flirting up with a wild card spot when it's all said and done with Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll out of the NFC. But I think this is the time of year when, give or take 2-3 weeks, you're going to start seeing a whole different look at the rankings.
All right,
because it's kind of crazy. In college, it's just like upsets. That's what matters, upset. But here, it's just who cares? You got to win. Just win. Don't matter how you do it. Just win.
Who wins the NFC? Drew Brees or Todd Gurley?
Louisiana, baby.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's when you're really going to find out if Goff, first off, is legit. And you're going to see if the Rams, secondly, are legit. Is if how far they can go in the playoffs. They're hot right now. But I want to see how they react when they lose.
Yeah, when they get down, when they get beat, because they haven't been down all season. They have the highest point differential in the league. Crazily enough, Baltimore is 2 points behind them with plus 76, and the Rams have plus 78, which is mind-blowing. But it'll be interesting to see how the Rams, a very young, good team, deal with adversity. I don't know. We're gonna keep talking about the NFL throughout the season, but it's starting to heat up, and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it.
This is what I've been waiting for. I missed football season, dude. We've been waiting all trash talk just to get to football season. We're finally here.
And Ellis, can I say this? I was so disappointed that there was no snow in Denver this weekend. What the hell happened? Everyone was talking about how there was going to be snow. I didn't get excited because I was like, it's freaking October. Are you kidding me? But hey, it was cold. It was cold in Denver, but there was no snow. So to hell with you, weathermen and geologists and meteorologists and proctologists. To hell with all of you.
That's a pain in the ass.
To hell with you.
Dude, I have friends in Michigan, and Holly was telling me her family in Minnesota got the first snow of the year this past week. And I was talking to my buddy on the phone from Michigan. He's like, yeah, dude, it's like 35, 40. Fall weather's here. And I'm like, it was 93 today for the 7th day in a row.
Dude, it got down to 45 today.
It started cooling down. It was like in the 50s this morning.
It was cold, and it's been raining all week. It is miserable weather here in Texas. It's getting crisp
outside, I think.
Yeah, it's coming. Fall weather's coming, boys. Don't you worry. But right now, being that it is October and it's fall weather, it is playoff season. The pennant races are deep. They are going on.
Let's talk baseball. Yo, the Milwaukee Beer Makers are playing pretty well over the Dodgers, man. Like, the Dodgers haven't really – their pitching's been off. They haven't been getting the bats. And Milwaukee's just been cracking bombs. Currently,
I like the Brewers. The Brewers.
The Brewers, yeah, the Milwaukee Beer Makers.
I love them.
But currently, Boston just beat Houston 8-2, and I think they're up 2-1 in the series now.
Yes, sir.
And Milwaukee and LA just started, and it's going to be a very important game in Los Angeles. But man, I'm with Houston and I'm with Milwaukee. My brother's a Dodgers fan, but they got bats. But I do think Boston's going to win it all. Boston's way too good, and I hate that.
Yeah, we talked about this a few episodes ago. I picked Houston to go all the way and win it all. But I picked them, I picked Milwaukee and Houston to go to the World Series when we just picked our pennant picks. But I think Milwaukee will go. They're too deep now. I think the one thing that Milwaukee is holding them back is their bullpen. I think Craig Counsell, their head coach, is he's dipping in just a little bit too early in some games. But hey, who am I? They're 2-1 against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Still a lot of baseball left. But I think the NL pennant will be interesting. But I don't think it matters because whoever wins the AL is winning the World Series. And I think Boston's just in a league of their own. I can't believe how good they are right now.
So good. I hate it.
The games aren't even – Houston was doing this to teams last season, beating them in the playoffs by 5-6 runs. No problem. Boston dominated the Yankees, and right now they're dominating Houston. Houston needs to get something going because, you can't score 2 runs a game and hope to beat the Boston Red Sox. Can't happen.
Not this year.
But, we'll talk about the World Series when it comes up. But, hey, it's a great time for sports, people. Great time.
There's one other sport that I want to give a shout-out to is the U.S. Women's World Cup teams, our soccer teams. We're currently in the CONCACAF finals against Canada, of all places. And, it's not the World Cup, but shout-out to the ladies, repping it for the red, white, and blue. That's my shout-out of the week, Women's World Cup. Trying to get a gold in a tournament that matters but doesn't.
They're always dominant. It's great to see that some gender of American soccer is doing well because
I do hope they start getting paid the same amount as the dudes because it is messed up how much more viewership they've had than the men.
I think they should get paid more than the men's because the men suck.
It should be based on success, right?
Yeah. And the men should not get paid. They should be unemployed.
Shit. Get us new Americans. We want better ones.
Yeah, we want better men's soccer players. Ours suck. My trash talk of the week goes out to my beloved Tennessee Titans.
They suck.
They gave a franchise record 11 sacks. Fucking 11 sacks in a game to the Baltimore Ravens. Some of those sacks didn't even look like the offensive line was trying. Tyler Luan, you talk so much shit. You just let guys run right by you. Didn't touch him. Now, I'm thinking, did Mariota bang an O-line's sister or wife or somebody? Or mom even? LeBron drama? I couldn't understand what was going on. And Mariota's standing back there just holding the ball, running into players. Something terrible was going on in that locker room, and it was embarrassing to watch. I ended up going on a walk halfway through the game because I couldn't take it. They let any and all defensive players through for a sack untouched. It wasn't like there was one guy getting 10 sacks. It was like 8 guys who got 11 sacks. Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel, you got a lot of spirit.
Come on, guys.
Get your shit together. That's the trash talk of the week.
Trash talk of the week. Titans, Mariota, get it together, man. Come on, guys.
But hey, Ellis, do you know the Capitals are Stanley Cup champions?
No fucking way. Did you know that Sidney Crosby is a confirmed transgender?
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard his doctor was also a transgender. Not that there's anything wrong with that. That's what you want to be. That's what you want to be. Who am I to decide? But hey, Crosby's a bitch. Peace.
Peace.